Hey everyone, I'm Dan Dusing. In this video, I'm going to go over the best accessories for DSLR filmmaking. This is going to be part 1 of the series. Let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need to create any professional work for your portfolio, demo reel, or client is going to be a white balance card. Now, all my links I'm going to recommend to you will be in the description box for all the items, and I'm not sponsored by bhphotovideo.com. I just find that they have the lowest prices on filming gear, so just don't think I'm sponsored. I just find that they have the lowest prices out there. But you can buy this for around $6 on that website, and I'll include a link to it. What this does is if you hold it up with your lighting already set, and this is for your scene, and you take a picture in video mode, then you go into the menus and select it as a custom white balance, then that will be your true white for the screen. You want to do this before you film anything, even if you do want to apply a tint or any color correction in post, because then you're not making up for not having a true white in post, and it makes it so much simpler if you just do this before. That way you're not giving your editor a headache. But basically, that's it. If you want to see a tutorial on how to set a custom white balance, click on the annotation on the screen right now or in the description box, because I previously did a tutorial on that. But that's it for the white balance card. Another vital element to filmmaking is obviously audio. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro shotgun mic I got for my Canon T3i. This will work with just about every DSLR camera, I'm assuming. It works off a cold shoe, so it doesn't get powered from the camera. Instead, it has a D battery that goes in the middle section. And then you just plug this in. Sorry about that. Plug that into the camera, and you're all set to go. It's got some different settings on the back. What I just usually leave it at 0. I don't mess with the decibels. And I just go to the middle, and then green means it's on. You do not want to leave it off while you're recording, because then the camera won't record any audio at all. Not anything from the on-camera mic, nothing. You do not really want to film anything. Professional cameras, DSLR cameras especially, you don't want to film anything with the onboard camera mic, because it's going to be really bad quality. So I recommend this shotgun mic. I'll do a test with it and without it. So right now this is without the Rode VideoMic, and now this is with the Rode VideoMic. This is a very excellent shotgun mic, and I really recommend it. It was $230, but it's definitely worth it. I'll include a link to it in the description box below. Most, if not all, DSLR cameras now work off of SD cards. When looking into SD cards, you want to look at the brand, the gigabytes, and what class it is. Now, these may seem like two very different cards, and they sort of are. This is a 64 gigabyte Transcend. I highly recommend Transcend and SanDisk. I've heard faulty things about PNC, that they're not the most reliable, so I just stick to these two. Now, as you can see, this is an SDXC, and those go up to 64 gigabytes or more, and it's class 10. You want to make sure any card you buy, any SD card you buy, is a class 10. Now with the SanDisk, it's 95 megabits per second or 95 megabytes per second, and you can actually transfer it to your computer much faster. It's an SDHC, as you can see, and it's a class 1 of that. So it's class 10 plus the 1, extremely fast card. This is still good because of how much memory it has, but the SanDisk is a much higher quality. And this was 85, the 64 gigabyte Transcend was 85, and the SanDisk was 80. So much variation in the gigabytes, but a much faster card. One of the most important accessories you will ever need for any type of filmmaking, DSLR cameras or not, is going to be a tripod. Tripods do exactly what they're intended for: keep the camera steady. The worst thing that you could see is trying to film something and hand holding it. Now, sometimes that's the style that you're going for, but what you really want to use if you ever want like a steady shot of a scene, especially if you don't want it to be distracting, is going to be a tripod. You can extend this as much as you want with these right here. And each tripod varies. This is a standard photo, as I told you. And I probably can't get it all in the full frame, but this is just one leg, and it can go even further. So this tripod actually stands pretty tall. as you'll see. And then if I just put it on the one leg, it goes all the way up until here. And then usually you'll have a second knob that goes, and this bar can go up. So these tripods can actually stand pretty tall, depending on the kinds that you get. Now, as I said, this is a standard photo, and you can tell because there's not a fluid head attached to the top. There's just these grips that control the tilt and the up and down movements. Now I will show you a video tripod. So now I've switched out my video tripod for my photo tripod so you can see the video one, and as you can see, the main feature of this is the head. Now the reason I bought this recently is because you can actually detach these. I'm not going to right now, but you can detach the head from the legs, which I cannot with my photo tripod. That means that when I'm ready, I can buy better legs, heavier legs. These legs are actually fairly light, especially in comparison to the head. Head's probably 5-7 pounds, something like that. It probably says on the box, but it's the 501 HDV tripod video head. I'll include a link to it in the description box of where I bought it. But yeah, it spins, it pans very, very smoothly. Definitely gets the filmmaking professional look that you're going to be looking for if you're working on films or any project really. The photo tripod still is okay if you want to keep a tripod still. I actually use the photo tripod for 2 camera setups, and I usually operate this one so I can go in between when I'm filming interviews or gigs or anything, so I can go in between, you know, and use it smoothly. Now, as you can see, the legs are actually fully extended, and the bar is all the way up, and it's only up to my chin, pretty much. While the photo tripod definitely exceeded that. So that's one drawback to this actual individual model I just ordered for this video tripod. But for me, the head makes it work, and that's what made it worth it. For DSLR filmmaking, you want to have at least one good lens. You can see what the aperture on it is by looking at the front. It says 1.8. Ignore the first one, 1.8. That's as low as it can go for aperture. You want the smallest number possible to create the best depth of field, which is pretty much the blurry background behind me. As you can see, my hand gets farther away or closer and it gets blurrier while this stays sharp. That's all called depth of field. The lens I'm using right now is a 35mm f2, which is pretty low, but this is a 50mm, which is going to be much closer than the 35, so it would be more zoomed in, but a 1.8, meaning it can shoot better in low light because the lens opens up more. If you're interested in this, please subscribe to my channel because I'm going to release a shutter speed, aperture, and ISO explanation video in a week or two that will go over everything, pretty much. The aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. What makes good lenses. All I can tell you is that for starting out, this lens is only $100 and it can really get you fantastic results. The 50mm f1.8, and I'll include a link to that in the description box. Besides the SD cards, this may be my smallest accessory. It's called a lens pen. If you push this up, you get a nice brush, very nice quality brush. And what you want to do is you want to actually wipe your lens with it before you shoot. You can just go like that, and it gets all the dirt, fuzzies, whatever is on your lens, little particles, because you don't want to shoot with those on there. The other side, actually, if you take this cap off, has a smudge prevention thing that you can do to your camera if you have any smudges. Just get rid of them. Very simple accessory, only around $12. I'll include the link to it, and it can really just speed up the processes. You can use a cloth on your lens, but this is just so much faster to just go like this, wipe, and you're done. This one might seem a little self-explanatory, guys, but for all your gear, your DSLR camera, any accessories that you have, you're gonna need bags. I know this sounds extremely basic. I'm just gonna show you how I organize my camera bag. Now, I originally got this bag back when I had a mini DV camera, which is digital video, like tapes, cassettes, pretty much. But I put the DSLR camera in here, this big pocket. I usually leave a lens attached to it, obviously the lens cap on. And then my mic in here, some lenses in this one, if you can see that, lenses in here, mic in here, along with some accessories. And sometimes I put stuff in this top pouch. And then usually, actually always, I have things in the side. Both sides I usually have stuff in. You probably can't see that too well. But basically you want a bag that can fit as much gear as you can. And even though this one isn't designed specifically for DSLR cameras, which a lot of bags try to, I think this one works out personally better because I can fit so much stuff. There are some better cases I am looking at that are like hard cases and waterproof. So in case you're going on any dangerous shoots where you're on a boat or anything like that, those might be more useful, but this will pretty much get the job done. I don't have a link for this. I bought this a long time ago, but pretty much just find a bag that you can fit all your stuff in safely. Make sure it's padded. Make sure you also take care of your bag, and make sure it has a lot of pouches. It even has a front pouch I didn't mention. This bag is very versatile and keeps all my gear, no matter how much I get, usually in there. I have expanded to a second bag, but this should be good for just starting out. The last accessory I want to go over with you guys today is going to deal with filters. Filters come in all different thread sizes, which mean they can fit all different types of lenses. These are all standardized 58 millimeters, and they all came as part of a set with this case for around $50 or $60, once again on bhphotovideo.com. I will include a link to them or to this set in the description box below. The first one that comes with is a UV protector. This is for protecting your lens, and you can just screw it right onto the lens, and that will protect it against scratches, and that's very, very, very handy. And next is a circular polarizer. This basically you can use when getting reflections off of windows or glass to reduce that greatly. And then this is a ND, neutral density filter, which basically when you go outside and you film with DSLR cameras, if you're trying to do shallow depth of field, which once again I'm going to do a complete tutorial explanation of shutter speed, ISO, and aperture in a couple weeks, that will deal with what to do when you want to shoot outside as well, because you cannot shoot outside with a DSLR camera with shallow depth of field, meaning blurry and then clear, or if this was clear here and the background was blurry, that's depth of field. You can't do that outside without a UV filter because it's just too bright out. The lens is too wide open and it doesn't know what to do, and it's blinding pretty much. Unfortunately, this filter that comes in the pack isn't going to do much for your camera, to be honest with you, but I will go over what type of ND, neutral density filter, will help you out next video. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope I helped some of you out with this. Just let me know by the comment section below. Subscribe for more tutorials and for part 2 of the best accessories for DSLR filmmaking, coming in just a couple weeks after I explain shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. All tutorials I release are going to be on Mondays, and all productions and films and videos are on Fridays. Thanks, guys. Take care. Hope I helped you out. Have a great day.